Hello YouTube, it is 7:18 p.m. Thursday, April 21st, 2022. Hey, check it out, we got more shopping carts full of garbage at the bus stops. Oh yeah, it's becoming more and more of a thing, it seems like every week. So yeah, I'm on my way to Bullock's. Sorry there's been so few vlogs this week and such a massive delay in uploading the old ones. I've been kind of caught in this new whirlwind relationship of sorts. There's been an astronomically large amount of red flags. I want to say the last 2-3 days, which have been a blur, partially due to me just not managing my sleep well. But that's not what I want to talk about. So, what did I say the time was? I check it again. It's so it's 7:20. The next route 60 headed west from here isn't there. The app is saying 7:44. There goes a train. The app is saying 7:44, and it's running late, which tells me that it'll probably show up even later than that. So yeah, I'm just gonna walk. It's faster to walk. Other than now, I'm getting hung up at one of those lights with a light rail crossing that takes forever to get across as the northbound trains goes by. Yeah. The only thing more annoying to cross as a pedestrian than a giant strode is a giant strode with a light rail in the middle of it. Yeah, light rail not my friend this week. After Monday's delay of however many minutes it was, I feel like I spent over 40 minutes just, and maybe I'm exaggerating. I'm not trying to make it into hyperbole, but the reality is I just simply didn't mark down the times where the train started and then stopped again. But I did have three extended waits on Monday on the light rail, just simply trying to get from 44th Street to downtown to transfer to my rapid bus. And I did make the rapid bus. I think the end of that video made it look like I wasn't going to, like I had missed it, because I was late getting to the stop. But yeah, it showed up, well, roughly 30 seconds to a minute after I stopped shooting video. I can't remember if the video caught that it was on its way or not, but normally when there's an arrow like that and there's a walk signal coming, I'll walk out to the middle of the street. But the middle of the street here is like 2 train tracks, so I'm not trying to be standing there. Anyway, all right, more stolen shopping carts. And somebody's tired. All right. This is it's interesting watching society just decay around me. Still trying to do me, such as I am. Anyway, so yeah, I caught that bus on Monday, and I feel like I shot a video. In fact, I definitely did shoot a video. I just haven't uploaded it yet. I did shoot a video after that, where I was walking from the park and ride over to Amazon, but I don't think I've shot any videos since. Which means, yeah, nothing at all on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I guess it's only been 2 days without video, but considering how many videos I tend to shoot a day, that's kind of a long time for me, and it feels like it's been an incredibly long time since then. Bolero's playing music. I can't identify it, and hopefully if I keep talking, neither will the neither will the YouTube algorithm that does content matches and try to monetize this shit. Anyway, where was I? Let's see. What's the biggest news? What's the biggest thing that's happened in the last 3 days? Well, I have not gone home and talked to Priscilla or dealt with Priscilla whatsoever since our rather terse conversation on Monday afternoon. So there's that. Surprisingly, all I've received from her is one text message on oh gosh, I want to say Tuesday morning, saying that Rob, my mechanic, was saying that my car would be done like that day or tomorrow or something like that. Which, yeah, I mean, there's been, I've lost count of how many times Rob has said, hey, it'll be done tomorrow, it'll be done in 2 days, it'll be done next week, it'll be done in 2 weeks. I'm at like 7 months now without a car, I think. Pretty damn close to 7 months with no car. And it's been a very eye-opening experience, to say the least. It's been a complete change, not only a complete change in like lifestyle and perspective of the world, but yeah, I mean, I guess this is what I'm trying to say, is a big change in my perspective of the world and just how I see the world, and not a fan of cars and traffic in any way anymore now. I mean, here I am eagerly awaiting to get back in mine, wishing that all the rest were gone. And most likely I will be driving tomorrow, believe it or not. Went down to see Rob today, and Crystal, the new FWB girlfriend, whatever she is, she's starting to... The big red flags I'm getting for her are just levels of jealousy that are in no way appropriate for somebody whom you've just met less than a week ago, and also just levels of just distrust and disrespect that I just really don't feel I need in my life. And I'm putting up with it for now, but I did call her out with it on a text message. Between her place and Christown Spectrum Mall. So, anyway, enough about that. I'd rather talk about my car. So, she did ride with me on the bus, and one thing that's been, to me, a huge deal about her, and has made her, especially at this point in my life, I feel a lot better for me than Priscilla, is the fact that she's actually been willing to ride the bus with me and actually been willing to walk with me. I'm going on 7 months as a pedestrian, and not once has Priscilla done either of those things with me. And yeah, there was one point I was with Priscilla, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago-ish, and she had offered to give me a ride to the light rail station, and then she's going in a direction that just, to me, makes no sense. And I guess that's one of my biggest issues with, one of the reasons I really don't like using rideshare, Lyft or Uber, and really don't like getting rides from other people, is that I don't like being a passenger in somebody else's car. It's a whole other thing riding the bus. The bus is supposedly following its route. I know where it's going. I know where it's stopping. I can look at an app to see approximately when things are gonna happen. And granted, there's all kinds of issues, but they're not the issue of where the fuck are you going. And it never, well, sometimes it's been an issue of where the fuck are you going, come to think of it, as I'm walking down Bethany and thinking about that time that Route 60 just turned right and went north on I-17, and everybody in the bus is like, where the fuck are you going? And we're getting no explanation from the driver. But but that's a separate tragedy. So, and to me, it's, and everybody's got their own personal code as to what's appropriate and, what's rude and what's not rude. And I'm finding more and more every day that perhaps my own personal, values and personal values and opinions of what's rude and what's not rude aren't the same as many other people's, and I'm sure a lot of that comes from the fact that I'm not neurotypical, so I just experience and see the world in such a different way. I often get accused of being rude, and I don't feel like I'm doing anything that's rude, but just values and interpretations of actions just are what they are, and different people have different, cultural norms, I suppose. Anyway, I find it excessively rude for a person to call me out on where I'm driving. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm driving, you're the passenger. And that's something I'm kind of a hard ass about when I'm driving. Like when I'm driving, if you're my passenger, like you should be thankful I'm driving you anywhere. So just I've asked you where we're going. At this point, I've told you I know where it is, and I'm taking the route that I'm taking because I'm driving. And if you don't like it, I can drop you off right here. It's all good. So with that being kind of my personal value on that, now granted, it's a little different for me as a cab driver. Now, as a cab driver, I kind of take a different approach to it, and this is kind of where I'm coming from, where I'm with rideshare, although there just seems to be a real disconnect between the knowledge that cab drivers have of the road and the knowledge that rideshare drivers have of the road, or should I say the knowledge they don't have of the road. My last rideshare driver, I had one on Tuesday night, and it was just awful. And I don't think he was intentionally awful. The guy was just, he was a foreigner, just had an African accent, and he just seemed like I must have told him 5 times, just go down I-17 I said, sorry, I-17, I did not say I-17. I said, just head west on I-10 to 75th Avenue. I told him that like 5 times. I should have only had to tell him once, maybe twice. I'll go on a maybe twice. So sometimes you're dealing with traffic and you're dealing with other shit in your head when you're driving that it's easy to miss it the first time. But like 5 times, at least. Maybe I told him 7 times. I had to tell him a lot. And then he's finally like, I do not know where that is. I'm not from here. It's like, dude, if you don't know where 75th Avenue is, you have no fucking business driving passenger in this city. None. That's a major street. You should know that shit. Like, and I told him when I got out, it's like, you need to really sit down and look at a map and memorize at least the major arterial streets of the city. Because damn, dude, just damn. Anyway, so and I take a different approach as well. Like when somebody's a passenger and I'm driving them as their paid livery driver, as a cab driver, as a limo driver, VIP sedan driver, they're the customer. If they want to go a specific route, that's fine. Like I'm always going to ask them specifically where they're going. I'm going to confirm that it is what I think it is, to a point that I'm at least comfortable that where they said they're going is where they're going, and that I'm confident that exists and is a place that I know how to get. In Phoenix, that's usually pretty simple, or anywhere in the valley, Phoenix area. But after that, like if they come at me with oh, why are you going this way? I'd be like, well, I'm taking what I believe to be the most efficient route that's gonna either save you the most time or save you the most money. Generally speaking, the quickest way is also the cheapest way. But I mean, if you want to go a different way, it's your ride, man. What do you want to do? And at that point, I'll follow their directions, as bad as they might be. And I've had some people get pretty pissed at me before for doing that, because it turns out that they really didn't know where they were going, and they ended up, directing me just way out of the way, and this way and that way, and then when it all came down to, I feel like you ripped you off, shouldn't cost this much. I'm like, I agree, but I went the direction that you wanted to go. So, dude, that's kind of on you, and your fare is blah, blah, blah. Look at the meter. Anyway, so me as a passenger, I found that I don't seem to get that with rideshare drivers, it's just super, super difficult to just tell them where I'm going and get them to go there. Like, especially in a situation where, in the app, of course, you're putting in, and I find the app very difficult to use, and I'm sure a lot of that's because of the shitty-ass phone that I got it on. I've got it on the UMX, just because it requires a confirmation of the phone number, and that's where my phone number is, so that is what it is. So, anyway, so they, what was I going to say? So they, sorry, brain just stopped. Forgot what I was talking about. I hate it when this happens. So driving. So similar thing that happened when I had like my worst Lyft ride ever. I had put in, I'd realized that the bus wasn't going to get me. The bus was not going to get me to another bus that was not going to get me to the building formerly known as Chase Tower in time to blocking the lens. Was not going to get me to the building formerly known as Chase Tower in time for me to get to my wow, this doesn't really give me enough time to cross both crossings. I hate this pedestrian crossing with a passion, by the way. Yeah, I'm still walking. You fuckers wait for me to finish. We still got a pole here to hit the button. I'm pretty sure the next two will be missing. Oh, yep, there's still a cone there. At least the rubble is gone finally. Anyway, it looks like I'm golden to cross this one. I'm looking at the lights above my shoulder just to make sure that, first, that one in front of me, if it turns green, that's what I got to worry about. And it didn't. And there's the remnants of the other one still laying on the ground for over a week. Some of it's there, some of it's gone. I get the feeling somebody probably helped themselves to the actual light fixture and decorated their apartment with it, which, gotta admit, that'd be a pretty cool ass decoration in like a man cave. So anyway, so same sort of thing. Like I was the same situation. I felt like I should have had plenty of time, as fast as Uber allegedly is, and it should be connecting me with the nearest car, and they've got cars everywhere, blah, blah, blah. So I managed to do like a super quick bus transfer from the Thomas, of course, it's always the Thomas bus, not getting me to where I need to get to on time. But yeah, Thomas bus running super late, even later by the time I got to, I think I decided to ditch the Thomas bus at 24th Street. I saw that there was a 70 coming southbound on 24th Street, and just approaching the intersection, looked like it would get there right after we did, and pretty much had to sprint across the intersection, but the driver saw me, waited for me. I got on the 24 southbound, and at that point I'm kind of like recalculating my options, and it looked like 7:37. I got a little bit of hang time here. Kind of recalibrating recalculating my options, and it looked like, so I'm looking to see, hey, is there any, now that I'm on this and I'm not, I've got none of my options going down Thomas are working. Now that I'm headed southbound on 24th Street, do I have any options? Can I maybe take this to the 3 and take Van Buren across? Is that going to perhaps get me to the express bus or to Amazon on time? And no, neither of those worked. So yeah, that was shitty. But I tried it. But yeah, I quickly realized that was not going to work. And at that point, I'm like, where's a place where I could conceivably, where a cab driver could pick me up in a hurry, as long as the cab driver is near and has somewhat of a knowledge of where shit's at, and then from there quickly get me on the freeway and off the freeway to where I catch my express bus. and I jumped off at the U-Haul. I jumped off at the U-Haul there on the southwest corner. The U-Haul I was trying to get a job at, but I kept managing to never make contact with the manager. So I ended up getting what I believe is probably a much better job at Amazon anyway. So, which I kind of fucked up yesterday, but that's a separate tragedy that I'm gonna have to mention in a separate vlog. Anyway, so going down. I'm gonna walk over to Burger King and get a couple rodeo burgers because I'm kind of hungry, and it can be difficult to get food at Bullock's. Even though I get free food at Bullock's, it's just sometimes difficult to get it ordered and get it in my belly. And as soon as I get there, I'm gonna be busting ass trying to get my shit set up. Oh, and I haven't received any kind of message from the owner or the bartender since they've had me on there that we don't trust you to show up space. But I mean, whatever. They send me home. They send me home. I'm getting kind of indifferent to that sort of thing. Anyway, where was I? So, so I've got the app open and I'm looking to see what the address is, and I'm actually keying in my Uber as I'm waiting for the bus to get across McDowell to let me out. And fortunately, I could see the building address in big bold print on the corner. So pretty much as I'm stepping off the actually, I was kind of having trouble with app. I was thinking I'd be stepping off the bus and already have my Uber request put in, but for some reason it was, instead of immediately when I opened the app taking me to where I would key in my location of where I wanted to be picked up, it was having me key in my destination, which, sometimes that annoys me. I understand why and how the algorithm uses it the way it does, but I just remember back in the day, cab drivers weren't given destinations. You were given locations that you picked up, and a lot of times, even cab operators wouldn't even ask people their destinations, so as not to bias the dispatch of cabs towards people going a long distance versus people just going a short local distance, and to have no bias and treat all customers the same. But it doesn't work that way with Uber. You got to key in your specific destination, and it has to be an address, which is shitty because at this point, I'm just simply wanting to go to a street corner. I'm not wanting to go to an address. But yeah, I had to Google and get the address of the Chase Tower, which isn't even called Chase Tower anymore. Unfortunately, a search for Chase Tower did reveal that address. But it didn't take me too long. Once I got off the bus, I was able to get in the address of the U-Haul as the pickup address, and the address of Chase is the drop-off address. And I'm thinking, all right, I don't know, at this point I feel I still had about 25, 30 minutes, maybe a little over 30 minutes. So I'm thinking, yeah, this is a drive that can be done in 10 minutes as long as you're pulling into the parking lot. You're turning right to turn into the parking lot, and you turn right to go out of the parking lot. Nice brakes, dude. Yeah, it didn't work out like that. The Uber ended up. It was coming from, I figured it'd be coming from someplace close, most likely Central Corridor, at least within a 2-mile radius that time of day. I mean, generally speaking, that time of day a taxi would have been within a 2-mile radius. That's a pretty significant area, but yeah, it didn't work like that. He was coming from, I want to say, about Central and Baseline, 7th Street and Baseline-ish, which seems like an awfully long distance to go to, during afternoon rush traffic. It seems like an awfully long distance to go to 24th Street in McDowell. But whatever, I'm watching him. It's telling him to take 16th Street north. I think it was telling him to take 7th Street north. No, 16th Street north. He was definitely east of 7th Street. It was telling him to take because the algorithm, that's a fun thing with Uber versus taxis. Taxis, a dispatcher tells you when you're, or a phone operator tells you approximately a time window over when your cab is going to show up, and you just kind of hope for the best. Whereas with Uber, like it gives you a time estimate, but it also shows you specifically where they are on a map, and you get to watch the GPS track them, and you see a line where it's showing what the algorithm's recommended route is, and that's neat. Like, I enjoy that to a point, but it also shows me when and how they're fucking up, and it seems like for every time it shows me them taking a nice efficient route to get me, it shows me them fucking up, and that's what happened. So it shows that he should be taking 16th Street to Jefferson, right on Jefferson, left to go northbound on I-10 to the 51, and then as you're going through the transition, take the McDowell exit, turn right on McDowell, and then swoop to the right on the corner, pick me up at the U-Haul, which has a McDowell address, even though the entrance is on 24th Street south of McDowell. Anyway, that's what it recommends. That's actually not what happened. So he misses the exit. He misses the exit on he misses the exit for McDowell, goes up to Thomas. Now, I can kind of understand that's a tricky exit to see. I'm like, well, I don't really have time for this shit, but damn. Anyway, at that point, I'm looking to see, hey, is this bus running late, blah, blah, blah. At that point, I pretty much realized, yeah, like, even had he made the McDowell exit, it was kind of dicey as to whether or not I was going to be able to make my express bus. And once he overshot it, it's like, nope, not happening. So I'm going to the app on Uber, and I'm trying to change my destination address. And at this point, like, I know if I give him the address for GYR3, it's going to tell him to do 83rd Avenue, and I don't want him to do 83rd Avenue. I want him to do 75th Avenue, hang a left, right on Roosevelt, left on 79th, and just let me off, like, right there by the walkway. I don't need him going through wasting his time and my money going through the parking lot at GYR3, or following the algorithm, which is going to tell him that he needs to get to that address via 83rd Avenue, when as a pedestrian I can get there from 79th. Anyway, what I end up doing is I'm on the app, and I'm trying to do that as he's doing the extra, couple miles, doubling back from Thomas, and yeah, that doesn't work out. I keep clicking the thing to change the destination, but it keeps taking me to a prompt to change the pickup address, which seems asinine to me. Like, why would the app do that when it has GPS, and it has GPS placing me at that address? Like, I'm not moving anywhere. I'm standing here. I'm waiting. I've been standing here waiting. But anyway, long story short, because I'm kind of running out of time here. Yeah, so he ended up picking me up, and the same kind of thing, that at least he was a little more receptive to it. He wasn't as freaking out and trying to focus on his phone when he should be focusing on the road like that other driver was, and scaring the crap out of me, like the Lyft driver who I just demanded that she let me the hell out of her car. But yeah, like, it was just clear he had no idea where he was going, and I kind of gave him a crash course of how numerical streets and addresses work in Phoenix. I'm sure it went in one ear and out the other, probably lost in a language barrier. I don't feel like I was qualified to drive passengers in this city. That's my opinion. Anyway, I need to wrap this up. I can't believe we've been talking for over 28 minutes, but hey, that's what happens when I don't do a few blogs for a few days. But I'm going to go inside, get me a rodeo cheeseburger, and then time to rock the house at Walks. Thanks for coming with on the walk.